Okay, so today I want to walk you through how to use this Gantt chart in Tableau. And this Gantt chart is meant to, obviously the meaning of it for you is not to understand what a Gantt chart is, but necessarily to really be able to see how would help you in your project. So in this example, when we're working through these recruitment and retention goals, we want to be able to kind of chart out what tasks we have, and then when do we anticipate them being completed, how long do we anticipate them taking, and then even from there we can kind of compare, okay, well, how long did they really take? And so it just gives us a better way to kind of visualize the entirety of the project. It kind of gives you, the client, a frame of reference for, what we're working on, why it's being done. Some things might end up taking longer than we anticipate or less time than we anticipate. And so, that's something that we want to be able to decipher. So as you can see here, we have this data set, which is just essentially like a table where I wrote in, okay, here's my tasks, and here's who's responsible for them, and here's where it started, and this is how long I expect it to take, and here's the stage that it's in, so that we kind of have a thematic, okay, this is the first stage of kind of inquiring, and then we do some analysis, and then we do some follow-up with you. So that would be like the stage 1, 2, and 3. What are the deliverables? So what are you getting out of this? What are we producing as a result of each of these? Is the task complete as of this moment? And then, we can compare it back. So we had an anticipated start date. Did those match up? We had an anticipated time it took to conduct something. How long did it actually take? That kind of thing. So, so this gives us quite a bit of information, but it's kind of not very exciting to look at on this table, and it's also, harder to kind of see relationships. So this Gantt chart is a much better way for us to kind of look at those things. So let me see, I can shrink this a little bit, bring this out so you can see some of the tasks. So and I'm going to change this actually, because I don't want this to necessarily say start date. I meant to do this, just as a note, Stephen, I meant to do this on the other video as well. I prefer to change this to like calendar of completion or progress or something like that. So that we kind of understand, okay, 2017, this is what's happening. So we have our tasks. I don't necessarily like how they're ordered, so I'm going to go ahead and drag them down, because this makes more sense to me in terms of a progression across time. We have them in stages, so if you can see, the stages go from light to dark. So stage 1 is really light, stage 2 is medium, and stage 3 is dark blue. So these two are stage 1. As you can see here in this tooltip, it says stage of project 1. This is also the stage of the project. And if you notice, these are things like meetings with Jim King and each stream leader, meetings with Louisiana Tech stream leadership team. So this is a lot of data gathering, information gathering, kind of getting our bearings, the beginning stages, so that we can come up with some development of measures and, kind of begin the process of gathering information. So so that's stage 1. So those tasks happened first. If you notice, they both started on the 15th and the 20th of February. And then, of course, the width of these is based on the anticipated duration. So these are the same width because they have the same projected duration. And then in stage 2, it's things like creation of the strategic plan for overall dissemination to streams, feedback meetings. So these are more of like okay, we've had these meetings, we've kind of gathered some information. What kind of strategic plan can we come up with? How can we see if it's received well or poorly, or if there's alterations that need to be made before we follow up with the actionable items that come from this strategic plan. And so you can see these are both stage 2 of the project. and they happen in March. And then stage 3, the creation of reports and other deliverables to summarize findings. So, these are, and then evaluation of that strategic plan. So this is kind of like follow-up. So we're creating these reports. We're kind of summarizing for you all the information that we had. And if you can see here, these started in April, and the projected duration is 80 hours, which is why this is so long. And the projected duration here is 10, so you can see the comparison here. And I could actually go into here and edit that so that it's much more easy for you to read. I could say per duration hours. And now, excuse me, now you can see it says 80 hours. So that makes a lot more sense. So this is really easy to use. It gives you quite a bit of information about not only the stages of the project, but what are the details of the project. I think it's just a really great tool for you to have that allows you to visualize progress on your efforts. So hopefully you find it useful.